State Association of Counties. As you know, California's 58 counties represent all Californians in our efforts to provide good local government to our citizens, our residents. We're here today as part of a large and, as you can see, growing coalition of government associations, public safety, education, business, and other organizations that are strongly opposed to Senate Bill 594. Defeating this bill is our number one priority. This bill is so restrictive that it will virtually shut out the cities, counties, education from utilizing our voice in statewide campaigns and initiatives that concern our residents, that concern the people of California who care about public safety, education, and local government. State and local ballot initiatives in particular have become vital to California's way of governing. And in this day and age, where we've just seen the Affordable Care Act, which has shifted responsibility to local government for healthcare, where we've seen public safety realignment, which has shifted public safety responsibilities to local government, where we've seen the effects of Prop 30 to protect education funding, where we've seen Prop 1A, which restricted state governments' ability to raid local government funding. It's now more critical than ever that counties, that cities, that law enforcement, that education, that Chamber of Commerce have the ability to have their voices heard clearly on statewide issues of importance. And so that's why we're gathered here today. Thank you all for being here. I want to introduce Nick Warner from the California State Sheriff's Association. Nick.
Thank you very much. I'm Nick Warner. I'm the Policy Director for the California State Sheriff's Association. Proud to join in this esteemed coalition. I just want to say briefly that it's odd to stand here to oppose a Senator Jerry Hill bill. We've always had an outstanding relationship with him, and we expect we still will. That said, we're part of a law enforcement coalition of the police chiefs, California District Attorneys Association, California Chief Probation Officers, Fire Districts Association, California Emergency Services Association, to name a few. And I'll just say, on behalf of the sheriffs, we're really, really proud of the educational role that we play in campaigns. Campaigns like opposition to rolling back 3 strikes, which voters overwhelmingly supported our position on that. Campaigns like funding education, which voters just passed. Campaign, for example, to use DNA testing for solving cold cases. We're very proud of the role that we play in educating the public. Under SB 594, strict new definition of public funds, we believe we may not even be able to do these basic tasks that are so vital to getting information out to the voters from credible sources. Again, we're proud of that role we play, and we feel like this bill really negates or minimizes the voice of public safety in these really important discussions. It's a bad bill. It's a gut and amend at the end of session. And we really hope that on Friday, when this bill is heard before the legislature, that legislators will see through this and vote no on this measure. It's my honor to introduce Jan Scully, District Attorney of the County of Sacramento.
Thank you, Nick. Good morning, everyone. I'm Jan Scully, District Attorney of Sacramento County, and proud to stand here today also representing the California District Attorneys Association, CDAA. You know, California already has strict laws that prohibit the use of public funds for political campaigns, and the FPPC, the Fair Political Practices Commission, is the agency that is already charged with the responsibility of ensuring compliance with the laws and for the violators to actually hold them accountable through strict fines and, in some appropriate cases, prosecution. CDAA, I should say, first of all, as the elected district attorneys throughout the state, we actually take an oath to follow and enforce the laws, and that is the essence of what we are about. CDA, along with the other organizations that I stand with today, take great care to comply with the existing laws and take great care to ensure that public funds are not used for political campaigns. We don't need broader language that would redefine what constitutes public funds and muzzle our right to participate in even the most basic campaign process. Case in point, SB 594 would restrict the ability of public safety organizations like CDAA and like state sheriffs to speak out and educate voters about ballot initiatives that would impact the public safety of California communities. Frankly, voters look to respected organizations for information on propositions so that they can make informed choices when they vote. Law-abiding citizens and victims actually expect these professional organizations to advocate in their best interest. In what has become the standard operating procedure for our legislative politicians, they've done another last-minute gut and amend maneuver that leaves no time for real analysis, vetting, or debate. Fortunately, our organizations discovered this quick and dirty bill so we could shed the light upon it. We don't need a bill that creates an uneven playing field by silencing professional organizations that always play by the rules and gives an unfair advantage to special interest groups that never have the public's interest at heart. I'd like to turn it over now to Brian Rivas, California School Boards Association.
Good morning. I'm Brian Rivas. I'm a legislative advocate for the California School Boards Association. Proud to be here on behalf of nearly 1,000 school boards, and school districts, and county boards of education in opposition to SB 594. CSBA is strongly opposed to SB 594, and we are joined with our partners in the education community, the Association of California School Administrators, the Community College League of California, the California Association of School Business Officials, the California County Superintendents Educational Services Association, and the Association of California Community College Administrators, among many others. We are deeply concerned that SB 594 shuts us out of participating in state and local ballot campaigns and participating in a meaningful way. For example, we would be limited in our ability to dedicate staff time to participate in school bond campaigns or to organize local news conferences and other events in support of a school bond measure. Voters deserve to hear from a variety of sources on ballot measure campaigns. Shutting out certain organizations like ours is bad for democracy and it's bad for voters. That's why we're strongly opposed to SB 594. And I call on members of the Assembly Appropriations Committee to reject the bill when it's heard on Friday. Thank you, and I'll now turn it over to the San Francisco City and County Treasurer, Jose Cisneros.
Good morning, I'm Jose Cisneros, the elected treasurer of the City and County of San Francisco, and I'm first vice president of the League of California Cities. The League of Cities strongly opposes Senate Bill 594 because it is a vast overreach that would shut out the representative voice of local governments in California. But let's be clear, currently nonprofit trade associations like those standing here today and who oppose this Senate bill do receive public funds, such as dues, revenues from cities, counties, or schools districts, and those funds are clearly not allowed to be used for campaign activities. Every single one of us takes great care and employ detailed accounting to ensure we never use public funds for campaign purposes. However, as private nonprofit organizations, our associations receive non-public revenues from things like leases on buildings, sponsorships at conventions, advertisings, promotions and services we provide just like any other private sector entity. Under the California Public Reform Act and California law, our associations are allowed to use these non-public funds for campaign activities such as having our association staff participate in campaign planning and other activities, making financial contributions, or educating voters about our position through things like press conferences and other communications. Senate Bill 594 redefines what constitutes public funds and makes off limits even the revenues we receive for goods and services we provide that aren't public revenues. The end effect of this would be to shut out our associations from the political process. That's why we believe this bill is a last-minute power play that needs to be stopped on Friday. Thank you, and with that, I'll hand it over to Matt Kate.
Thank you, Mr. Treasurer. Restriction of free thought and free speech is the most dangerous of all subversions. It's the one act that could defeat all of us. 594 restricts our ability to have free speech in that it restricts our ability to reach out on initiatives and campaigns that impact our members, that impact the residents of California's cities and counties, students, law enforcement officials, and the business community that's represented behind me today. We are distributing copies of the letter that we sent to the legislature and the governor so you can see the depth and breadth of the coalition. And again, I'd repeat, I think that the defeat of this measure is all of our top priority. We're available to take questions at this time.
I've got two questions that you bear with. First, I think Mr. Cisneros is probably the most appropriate to respond to. In covering, like, say, Prop 22 a couple of years ago, there were millions of dollars that the league spent. And frankly, when I was asked for the source of these non-public funds, the answer is to buy doodles, magazine advertising sake. Are you willing to disclose in any detail the actual source of your non-public funds? So the public can make a determination of whether they are in fact non-public funds.
Let me ask Chris McKenzie to help me with that.
Sure. I think we have already disclosed this to the FPPC, and we have answered many, many questions about it. We're happy to share the information with you. It's very, very simple. We engage in a number of activities where we sponsor different programs, we sell certain services and goods, and then we are able to accumulate those non-public funds over a period of years. So if you're assuming, for example, that we have all the money that we need for a campaign, that we get it in a year, we don't. We may go years and not spend any of that money at all. But it is available to be used for campaign purposes in the future.
So you're saying the public, the press, is able to, right now, dollar for dollar, determine the source of each of every dollar that you spend on the campaign?
Sure, yeah.
Could you show me what you have?
I'd be happy to do that. Okay.
Along those same